Hey, Russ, thank you for joining me today. I'm glad we get a chance to talk about coins again. I had a lot of fun last time.
Same here, Charles. How are you?
I'm doing great. So last time we touched on, and you can, if you're like new to the show here, you can go to our live streams that are archived on the our YouTube channel, and see the video Russ and I did on Morgan and peace dollars. About 2 hours, a little over 2 hours long. I think
That was a
50,
long one.
yeah, 50, about 50,000 people have watched it, and we broke down eye appeal, different qualities of coins within grades. We looked at quite a few coins. Kind of told you what to look for in a 1921 peace dollar, and so a lot of actionable information that the investor collector can really utilize to maximize their hobby. Today, we're going to look at, I guess, what people in the industry may call generic coins, but that sort of undersells them. And so we won't call them that. We'll just call them type coins. And these are going to be a collection of St. Gaudens double eagles and Liberty head double eagles. The double eagle is a denomination that was conceived after the California gold rush, and it was a direct response to the fact that the market was being flooded with bullion from the gold fields, the placer gold fields in California. The first one was struck after a long production process and some mint sabotage in 1849. That example is unique, and it's at the National Numismatic Collection at the Smithsonian. For the rest of us mere mortals collecting coins, the series begins in 1850 and continues until 1907, at which time President Theodore Roosevelt, in cahoots with famed sculptor Augustus Saint Gaudens, worked to refresh the American coin design. And before he died, St. Gaudens was able to more or less execute designs for the $10 gold eagle and the $20 gold double eagle. And so the coins in the Double Eagle series we're going to talk about today are going to be the 1908 Nomato in various grades. We're going to talk about 1924, a 25, and a 28. So these are dates that you may be offered as a collector from time to time. You may see them sold online or on TV shows. So we're going to talk about those so you are informed and you have enough information to get the right coin for you. Without listening to a bunch of people try to pander to you about like the government seizing all your bullion and everything like that. On the Liberty side, I've done numerous articles and some videos about the Liberty Double Eagle series, and in my opinion, it really is, if you're looking at completing a date, mint mark set, and mint state, probably the Mount Everest of the U.S. coin series. I don't know for sure if anyone's ever completed it. In large,
I'm having trouble hearing you.
Yeah, in large part due to the fact that for some dates they're practically unknown in mint state, and if they are known in mint state, we're looking at like one or two coins, and so obviously that would impede even a super wealthy collector from completing that objective. Louis Eliasberg never had a complete set in mint state. He had various grades. So that is a Mount Everest kind of thing. If you're super wealthy, it's not necessarily these coins you're going to be concerned about in mint state, but for the rest of us, again, these are the coins that we will most likely encounter, and we should know what we're doing when we're dealing with them. So Russ, thank you so much. You've sent me an amazing assortment of coins to look at. I'm very excited to share these with the audience. And you've also prepared some dealer graphs from that Rare Coa uses. So folks, I mean, we're not only looking at fantastic coins today, we're going to be seeing how the sausage is made as far as how the market works. So you're not going to get more advanced information than this anywhere. And I appreciate Russ for taking the time to do this for us. So, Russ, let's start off here. Let's go in sort of an order we sort of agreed on at first, and we're going to talk about the Liberty Head Double Eagle series first. And the first coin we have here is the 1900 Philadelphia issue. A little bit about this series. The Liberty Head Double Eagle has three types. The type 1 is the no motto type, and I'll have Owen flip this over so we can see the glory, which is the area above the eagle's head where the stars are, the 13 stars and the rays, which represents heaven, has "In God We Trust." Now, when this coin was conceived, it was before the Civil War. As you know, the first coin with the motto was the 2-cent piece, which was released in 1864. And gradually the motto gets imbued on our coins. But initially, this denomination had no motto. And the denomination or the value of the coin was inscribed at the bottom with the words 20D with a period. So it didn't have $20 written out. In 1866, it was a transitional year for the mint. They did introduce the motto, "In God We Trust," but the $20 was still spelled 20D. And this design is known as the Type 2. And this was struck from 1866 to 1876. And in 1877, 20D was changed to $20. And therefore, this coin struck with this design are called the Type 3 Liberty Head Double Eagle. And if you just want to know like why most people usually only see the Type 3 Double Eagle, it's because PCGS has graded only like 82,000 or so Type 1 and Type 2 Double Eagles, but they've graded 664,000 Type 3s. The Type 3s are the ones that survive the melts. NGC, likewise, it's the same story. They've graded about 767 or 8,000 Liberty Head Double Eagles, and the vast majority of them are Type 3s. You can turn that back. So Russ, this coin here, we'll put this one back up there. This coin here grades MS61. And what would you say about a coin like this? Like, you're a dealer, you're working the bourse. I'm bringing this coin up to you. I want you to look at it. What goes through your head when this coin comes to your attention?
Well, the first thing I notice is the holder.
Right.
It's actually a 1989 generation 2.2.
Right.
So it was graded in a very specific period of time, and many, many years ago. I kind of like that. There are collectors who like that as well. But since it's a MS61 $20 gold piece, I don't ponder it too much. I look at it today as being very closely tied to the underlying spot gold price, its value, that is.
So in this case, that's about $1,730. And so we're probably looking at, what you think, what's the current premium? Something like 10-15% on a coin like this?
Well, I'm an employee of Rarecoa, and we publish a daily buy-sell sheet.
Mm-hmm.
The current bid-ask price. A polished coin, just to give you some reference, with gold at 1785, our bid ask is 1890, 1975.
So you don't really treat this so much as a rare coin. I mean, we'll talk real quick about that holder in a little bit more detail, but let's just say like a NGC or PCGS current generation holder comes to your attention, even if it's like in quantity, you're looking at this more or less as sort of a bullion play. Like, that's where really the market for that coin is.
Yeah. We handled, lately, because gold has gone down and the premiums have shrunk, we see less and less of these coins now coming back into the market because it's more expensive to certify it than it is worth it to let it stay raw. I mean, most people now will trade these coins in BU rolls. because it's $35 right out of the gate to get it certified by PCGS or NGC.
So getting back to this holder. So you said it was a Gen 2. I think you're absolutely right. I think it's a 2.1 or something like that, because it still has the perforated label. And these would have been graded probably between October and December of 1989, and in a completely different coin market. And
Yeah.
and I do wonder, looking at a coin like this, I don't know if this coin of Rarecore, or you've ever sent this to CAC, or even if a 61 is ever worth sending to CAC or whatever. But I do wonder, with some series of coins, looking at the Mercury dimes, for instance, they tend to be born with gold CAC stickers if they're graded before 1990, because the standards have either evolved or devolved depending on your point of view. Do you look at a coin like this as something that shouldn't be in a 61 holder anymore, or is this a coin
it's a problem? It's a problem of economics. First of all, we trade these coins so frequently that to take 2 weeks is not really a good business decision. The 2 weeks it takes to mail it to CAC, maybe the week that it takes to get it processed, and then the few days it takes to get back, we're looking at a spread between a 61 and a 62 coin of only $20.
Right.
The 61, as I said, sells for 2015, and the 62 sells for 2035. So there's a $20 spread.
Right.
It's really not worth it. We just rather keep it in the holder and go on with it.
Right. And was your opinion, like when you were looking at this coin, did you see it as a honestly graded 61? Because 61, I think, is a kind of coin that should have practically no eye appeal. And I'm kind of rotating this coin a little bit, and I see a lot of splotchiness in the fields. It looks like a copper spot on the right side. I don't see any putty or anything, but
I don't think anyone would bother with that. It was probably secured eventually from overseas in Europe, as most of them are. It was brought over, it was graded, and it's been in that holder ever since. What I find is interesting, though, is these coins, generally the reverse is much better than the obverse.
Right.
And in fact, this particular coin, it's almost choice to very choice,
right.
63 to 64 grade. But we don't grade by obverse and reverse. We grade by one number, and generally it's the obverse that gets it first.
So we'll go to the second coin here, and this is this is in the current generation fader label. You see at the bottom left, it has that RFID thing that the PCGS has going on in their current generation labels. So this is an 1895S, and for me, this is like one of those what if kind of issues, because it's not like the date's very rare. I think it had like a little over 1,140,000 struck, but these coins come lustrous, flashy, typically they're struck pretty well, usually better than Philadelphia strikes, but they're baggy. They're always baggy. I've never seen one of these that's been really clean. And I just wonder, in your opinion, is this just what happens when, bags and bags of these get exported and get held in banks and thrown around, and then when they get repatriated, they just come like this?
I agree. The San Francisco issue actually comes flashy like that, which is why a lot of folks enjoy collecting them. But because the fields are so fragile and so open, much more open than the St. Gaudens issue, it's much more prone to contact marks and showing them because of that flashy and lustrous surface.
Right. And so this example, again, this is one grade higher. So this is MS62. And MS62, let's just be honest, for this issue is the typical certified grade. And, you'll see about half as many in 61 and 63 holders. The date definitely starts to become scarce at 64, and it tops out at 65. And is this a kind of date, Russ, where you see like a bigger premium being laid out when you start getting to like like 64 plus with CAC, or 65? I mean, is there a big CAC premium for a coin like this? Because it is a coin that typically has good eye appeal. It's just too baggy.
I think there's an enormous spread when you get into, the 64, 65 gem grade.
Mm-hmm.
They just don't exist, as you say. I mean, they have to be typically secured from the mint at the time of production, like a lot of Eliasberg coins were in the 1890s. I mean, those coins graded 67. I'm only aware of one Type 2 MS67. They just don't exist in very high quality condition. I should also say this too, drawing back a little bit. It's a pre-1900 date,
right?
And there are times in the market when the premiums stretch a little bit. If gold goes up in the near future, I think you're going to find that the pre-1900 20 Liberties actually normally carry a premium over the post-1900. The 1904, right now they're priced about the same, but the 1904 will fall back as the premiums gain, and then the 1895, 1894, whatever it is pre-1900, is all of a sudden going to regain its premium. So not only do you have a value play in the higher grades, but you also have a value play in the lower grades too, pre-1900, 20 libs.
And how much originality do we see in these common dates? I mean, do these get processed before they get sent in typically, or are they, the spread not really worth the investment?
Well, I think spots will be processed, but the funny thing about that is that if you're a CAC buyer, and generally speaking, it's hard to find a CAC coin that is in low grade like this. They usually start at 63 and better.
Right.
But if you're a CAC buyer, CAC enjoys seeing the spots because it shows that the coin is original and has those surfaces that haven't been tampered with.
Right. I mean,
so I'm as long as the spot isn't like a blemish or a bruise, I'm all in favor of spots. They're just not very retail friendly.
All right, so let's focus on a date. I think we're going to look at this date in depth here, and this is going to be 1904. We have a couple here and some various grades of 1904 double eagles here, and the first one is in a PCGS holder. This is an old green holder, and this one comes in at MS62. So this would be the same grade as the 1895S we just showed you guys. But you can tell just off the rip here that 1895S was flashier and, in my opinion, had much better eye appeal. And this 1904, it's got a little bit of satiny finish to it, but it does kind of look dull. The color of the gold is slightly different, and it's really baggy.
Yeah. I do like the rich orange peel toning on it. And the cheek is relatively clean. I kind of look at $20 Liberties the way I look at Morgan dollars, where we were talking about that nice baby butt soft cheek that Lady Liberty has. But in these grades, you're going to find marks. And I think it's up to the buyer not to find marks that the eyes go to immediately, but just an assortment of marks. And then it's just really a matter of how well your timing is in purchasing it.
Right, but what about like just the strike quality here? I mean, do buyers at these grades pay a premium for strike, like a well-defined crown, well-defined star radials, hair detail that's sharp? Is this something that people are really caring about at the 62, 63 level?
No, not in my opinion. I mean, you might, if I'm set up at a coin show and I have 10 or 12 of these out, I might have a few people will come by and look at them and compare them because they want the nicest example they can find. But for the most part, I think what you have is buyers typically won't see the coin before they get it. They'll buy 10 at a time from Racoa, Abmex, larger dealers. Heritage offers coins like this. And they'll look at it and they'll say, okay, great. And they'll put it back in the box and there it'll stay.
Right.
I don't think that they are as particular about those types of characteristics you just mentioned as they are with the higher grades.
Yeah, I think this is something that's probably going to blow people's minds, and I don't know when the last time you've looked at the pop report data, Russ, but I was looking at this morning before we went on, and there's an estimate. There's a total mintage of 1904s at 6,256,699. I mean, anybody with a red book can find that out. But there's probably between 400 and 500,000 of this issue that survives in mint state. And again, 1933, the federal government retrieves as much of the gold as it has control over, melts it into ingots. Those are stored at Fort Knox. There's a giant vacuum sound of bullion and bags and bag quantity and other ways of being held that are shipped out overseas. And those that were able to get the gold out would have realized a profit because the federal government raised the price on gold after they took control of it. But the coins have been repatriated. So there's about 500,000 of them in mint state. Today, PCGS has graded 210,000 of this date in mint state, and NGC has graded 240,000 of this date in mint state. So if you take the combined population, and of course there's some crossovers and stuff like that, but 450,000, that means that there are more 1904 double eagles in mint state and holders than the U.S. Mint produced gold eagle 1 ounce bullion coins in 21 of the 35 years that program's been in existence.
That's a very interesting statistic.
So this, like in the old days before we had that bullion program, but after gold was legal to buy in the United States again, this would have been the American Gold Eagle bullion play from when Nixon allowed you to buy gold again until 1986. Am I wrong?
I'm with you on that.
So at what grade do we start thinking about this coin not as a bullion coin but as a numismatic coin?
Well, 5 years ago, 63 grade could have been considered a sort of a semi-numismatic coin, but today, with the premiums as tight as they are between the underlying spot gold price and the graded coin, I think it starts at 64 level. But we do have some 63s, I think, to go.
Let's look at this one real quick. So in this one, this is, here we are at choice. In my opinion, this is a very nice coin.
Yeah.
You don't see a lot of chuff in the fields. I mean, there's a couple little hits, but they're not all over hits. Like you said, Liberty's cheek is mostly clean. What do you think? What do you think about a coin like that? I mean, is this a good coin at 63?
Well, the two that we have, the one that begins with 354, it doesn't necessarily have the contact marks that we've been talking about, but it does have hairlines.
Okay. And
hairlines, I'm good. I don't have a coin in front of me, but I'm going to take my cell phone, and if I tilt it, if this is a coin holder and I tilt it like this,
right,
under light, I'm going to pick up hairlines on the surface of the coin.
Okay. I think we can show them.
Good.
So what contributed to those hairlines being on this coin?
Well, that certainly is not, in my opinion, from being in a sack with a bunch of other $20 gold pieces. It's from someone maybe brushing it, cleaning it, cabinet friction, something that occurred after striking and in the possession of an individual of, with not no mind for condition preservation.
So sort of collector damage, if you will.
That's a good way of putting it. Yeah.
So do you, and that's what you think held this coin back?
Yes. Hairlines are prevalent on just about every single coin issue, depending upon how it's been handled in its past. And I think hairlines are one of the greatest downgraders that we have out there. It's really important when you're buying a coin that you look and you in a strong light source, and you are able to pick up those hairlines, because hairlines will affect your ability to sell the coin down the road.
So as a collector, if you have coins that are, let's just say they're not in certified holders, let's say you store coins in a different manner, or you buy raw coins, assuming that you have a fresh or genuinely fresh uncirculated coin, what can you do to avoid imparting hairlines on your coins?
Well, handling it by by its edges, but
Right.
also buying it already certified.
I
mean, you handle a coin like this, not like that.
right,
Like this.
right. So if you and also you got to be careful if you're putting them in albums that you don't slide the plastic lens of the album page over the coins, because that will leave very clear hairlines on a coin.
Yeah, Whitman used to have those albums made out of cardboard from the 40s,
Right.
and each side had that little pane of plastic, clear plastic, you'd slide in and out. And the problem was that if the coin wasn't centered perfectly in the hole that it was made for, that pane of plastic would go right across the face and just create these lines that would go like that. And once you got the plastic in, then you take it back out again, and all of a sudden you have the lines going back again. I mean, it's that particularly happened with a lot of proof coins you see nowadays.
Collector.
That's the death knell of proof coin value.
Collector adjustment marks.
Right.
All right, so we have two MS64 1920 or 1904 double eagles here, and the first one, they're both in NGC holders. One is in your typical NGC holder that you see today with the label, and then one's in the rare color green label one here, as you see here. So we'll start and sort of talk about them side by side. Let me make a quick adjustment to the camera here so we can maybe see both of them on the same screen. So what are you thinking about these two coins? Like, what in particular?
Well, I put those two together side by side so that you could really see the new program that has already been out, but it's being slowly introduced to the general public, of the green label NGC coin. This is designed to be a competitive response to CAC. There are and will be published prices on various generic coins, U.S. coins, for green label products. And that is going to happen this year. It's already happening with silver dollars. It will happen with gold fairly soon. But what I like about that coin is it's been selected for its rich, gemmy glow. I mean, it has a mixture of orange, brass, and sort of a yellow honey look to it. I mean, it just, to me, in a group of coins, it stands out. I had about 40 to pick from, and I put this one green label in that group of 40 that were non-green label, and it just stood out. So I think anybody who's now spending what is about $2,300 for this coin in 64 grade, I think what you need to do is make sure that you're getting something that has a wow factor to it. And from MS64 on up, I think we're all looking for a wow factor, because that's going to help you resell the coin.
Right, and so what are you looking for in a 64? I mean, keep in mind, like when we're thinking about coin grades, and like I said, we were talking about Morgan's last time, and for some of the common dates, 1881S, 1879S, 1886, 1921. We get kind of spoiled that there's like superb gems that are available. For these double eagles, I mean, you can be at the point where there aren't coins in MS65 that are like frequently encountered on the market, or maybe 65 is the top pop and there's a handful. This date is scarce in MS66. It's rare in MS67. There are 65s, but a 64 is about as good as you're probably going to get in the retail market. Everything else comes to auction or is in a collection. They're not frequently encountered. You can't call somebody every day and get one. You have to wait for them. So what are you looking for in an MS64 common date Type 3 double eagle?
Well, I'm looking for a minimal amount of obvious marks. I'm looking for unbroken luster. I don't like to see the luster disturbed in too many places. Obviously, the higher the grade, the more I expect of unbroken luster. I don't expect any kind of friction on the high points of the coin.
Mm-hmm.
And that's typically on the devices right in the center, mostly on Lady Liberty on the obverse. The reverse, not so much. I think you'll always find that the reverse grades a point or two higher than the assigned grade on the holder. I mean, it's usually very pleasing, but because there's no real high points and the fields are sort of obfuscated with all this different design.
Right. And do you find that is the Type 3 Liberty Head Double Eagle series something that people can reasonably pursue completing? I mean, I think there's only a handful of scarce dates of the Type 3.
Well, you get certainly in the early 1890s, those are going to be real problematic. 1882, 83, 84, 87 are proof-only years. 85 and 86, the mintages are so low that it's going to be tough to find any coin, let alone a mint state example. In fact, I don't think in 85 and 86, well, 85 probably has a few mint state. 86, I'm not so sure about. And then you have the Carson City issues too. Mm-hmm. I mean, those are already always popular. I think it's best if you're going to start with a Type 3 set is to go with the Philadelphia, or more importantly, maybe the San Francisco issues. They're more exciting, they're more accessible, and I think that they're better eye candy all the way around.
And what premium should collectors put on coins in this 64 level that are CAC approved? Are you seeing 20 or 30% like it used to be? The sort of the premium for these gold coins with those holders on?
I have noticed that. And that's one of the things that I spend a lot of my day doing is price analysis. I've noticed that the published Collector's Universe price, the PCGS on the PCGS website, which they say is a retail price, is normally indicative of what a CAC endorsed coin will bring at auction.
Okay.
Anything else, other, if it's not CAC'd, and it's a better date, you're probably going to find it maybe at anywhere from 10 to 15% back of the Collector's Universe price.
Right.
But if it's a generic coin and you're just trying to accumulate to buy into the gold swings, I think that you're better off looking at the daily rare COA sheet, what the buy-sell spread is, and also graphs that we produce only internally, of which, I have. Clients, because this is around a $2,400 coin,
right?
And we said this is probably going to jump to 4,000, and sure enough, it did. And the reason why it did is because of demand.
Now, let me share a few of these graphs with the audience before we move on to the Saints. So here you have, you see the price movement. This is the $20 lib and MS63 1-year price survey. The black bar is spot, and you see spot started a little over 1800. It's sort of been up and down. It's inching back to that, so it's a little down from where it started. But you see that the buy price, there's like a big spread. It tightened up pretty much only in around the February-March area, and then you said it started to get some more movement, and then you see the sell spread. So you're seeing basically the numismatic premium, or the physical in hand premium, if you will, because I think all bullion products are selling over spot because of the relative scarcity in the supply chain. 20 libs here in MS64 for the yeah sure, I'm just right. Right. Mm. Right, and again, we're gonna drum this into your head. If you are buying classic U.S. coins, they have to be certified by PCGS or NGC. They're the two most marketable certified holders in our coin market. You don't want to buy off brand for this stuff.
Difference. We at Rarecoa will pay our published buy price for a PCGS or an NGC coin.
Right.
And we do it every day, on sometimes intraday. We have prices. These graphs are made up of prices that go back to 1996 on a daily basis. Okay. However, if you come up with an off-brand coin, an ICG or an ANAX coin, we have to see the coin first before we make a bid on it.
Right.
We buy commodities. The $20 gold piece is a commodity. The off-graded item, that's more like, it's a Wild West show at that point.
Right, and also be sure you're buying your certified coins from a recognized dealer, an authorized dealer. The material is preferable. Make sure you have a relationship with them, because you go buy these from just anybody off the street. You can't even be sure that they're real. There's certain numbers that have been faked or fake coins put in holders with real cert numbers. They're very deceptive. I mean, I'm pretty sure even at Rarecoa, you guys see scummy holders every now and then, and you have to be very diligent to make sure that you don't make these $2,000, $3,000 mistakes on bogus coins.
We actually very rarely see counterfeit coins. They're out there, but they're more of the modern issues.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense for these coins to be counterfeited, because it's 1 ounce of gold. I mean, there's very little difference. There's not a profit incentive for them to do that. But to counterfeit a modern coin and call it perfect, there can be a considerable profit margin there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, they do exist, just to be clear. These classic coins.
Yeah, ICTA is all over it.
All right, so let's move on here. This is the 1-year price study of MS64. $20 Liberty. And so what do you see here?
The audio.
Yeah, 1 year.
Okay. I thought we, okay. I don't have the, MS64. Yes, I do. Again, my same comments go with along with the MS63. It's resistant on downturns, but as gold market goes up, it will start going up.
Okay.
Follow the underlying spot gold price.
All right, so let's hit some of these St. Gaudens double eagles that we have here, and we're going to start with the 1908s. We have quite a few of these. We're going to basically climb the ladder here. We're going to start with MS62, and we're gonna go up to MS66. So we're going to go from choice to gem, or just below choice to gem here. And on the first coin, we have. All right, we have an MS62. So this is the no motto Saint. And is this coin? I don't think this coin really is treated as a commodity. This is treated as a numismatic coin. Yes.
As MS62?
Yeah.
Right now in this market, it really is. I mean, to write the rare Koa gold sheet, which I think we'll show shortly, the buy price is the same as an MS61.
Okay.
And it's $5 less for a uncertified coin and $15 less for an AU raw coin and $25 less for an XF coin. So there really is no spread between the VF and the MS62. Starting then with MS63, which I won't get into because that's our next slide.
Right.
Then you have a more of a premium. But at this moment, these are really bullion based. Now, 1 year ago today, they were not. There was a difference in pricing.
What do you think contributed to that?
Gold going down.
Okay.
We have people who come up to us and say, I'd like to buy MS61 certified Saint-Gaudens. We don't have any, not anymore. No one's certifying them because of the $35 price it takes to get it to PCGS and processed. Sometimes good customers get MS63 if they have pre-ordered MS61s and we can't fill the order. That's the way the market works. And you kind of say, well, that's crazy, but we just can't find these lower grade certified encapsulated coins.
Right.
It doesn't make financial sense to put them through the procedure at this moment in the market.
So is this kind of coin the kind of coin that really isn't bought by a collector? This is more the type of thing that somebody's going to get a box of 20 and just put them away and then just play the market?
Yep, that's exactly right. I think that if you buy from RCTV, if you buy from Blanchard, if you buy from Swiss America, if you buy from Rare Coin Gold Exchange, you're going to find that they're buying a box of 10 or 20 of these coins. They're all graded the same, and they're buying into the relationship with the dealer. They're buying into the process of buying gold, and they like the security. I think that sort of a 1908 coin or a 1924 coin gives them over a 1986 Krugerrand, for example.
Mm-hmm. So when you're looking at this no motto issue, what is the what are you looking for in the coin to sort of like what should the coin have to justify a premium price?
Okay, first thing, and I know that I hear this over and over again when I'm at shows and prospective buyers come up and pick up the coin and they look at it. It's the high points, the hand, the knee, and the nose.
Okay.
You're going to find that there's varying degrees of flatness of strike because they're the high points. And there is a wide body of collectors out there, once they become educated, that they're looking for like a full nose. Right. They don't want a flat knee, and they want to see the fingers on the hand, and that's the hand with holding the vertical torch.
Right. Yeah, these are all details that unfortunately had to be reduced in relief because the mint didn't have the technology to strike the St. Gaudens design as the designer intended.
Right.
And so Barber essentially reduced the relief, which allowed them to produce it for circulation, but it did take, some of the exquisite detail that was initially imbued in this design away from it.
It made them also more stackable.
Right. Yeah, I personally wouldn't buy a coin if it had a marred face, because it just seems like with such a beautiful figure, if the personification or the image of a person looks like their face is all marred, it kind of doesn't matter what else is happening to the coin. You're not gonna unsee that.
It's okay for buyers who don't care about the aesthetic appeal of a coin. We are going to buy that. We at Rare Koa are going to buy that coin back as long as it's in the holder.
Right.
Okay. It doesn't matter because it trades like a commodity. However, if you're collecting, you might want to just spend $100 more and buy like an MS64, where all of a sudden you can worry about those aesthetic qualities.
All right. Well, let's climb one rung of the ladder at a time. We're going to move on to the 63. And again, another PC holder. This coin, I think PC's probably graded 56, 57,000 of these at this grade. 64 for this date tends to be the most commonly found certified grade, and then it starts getting less and less so. So what are we looking for in a 63? A choice mint state example.
Well, less contact marks. It still shows, this particular example, PCGS, shows the signs of the flatness on the hand, the torch hand, the nose, and the knee.
Okay, yeah, I see that.
I also should mention the sun on the back at 6 o'clock position is also relatively devoid of marks.
Yeah.
And that is something that I've learned over time is also what graders use to determine whether or not the coin is choice or gem.
Yeah, because that would be
you can have.
That would be an elevated part of the coin that wouldn't conceal a scratch. I mean, with all those rays and all those feathers, you can kind
of feathers. Yeah, those feathers can carry marks all day long, and you actually wouldn't see them until you're staring right at it. And the rays tend to get like a cross pattern contact mark, but even those, because of the height of the rays, it doesn't really bother you as much as that flatness of the sun.
Right. It reminds me of that 1 or that 2 o'clock position on the $2.50 and $5 Indians. Like that's the spot on that coin that is the most grade limiting, I think, because like it's super seldom that you find clean coins where that area is clean, because for whatever reason they always got hits. Maybe it had something to do with the sunken relief of the design, but
you get these nuggets of wisdom that I just wish I knew who your resources. I haven't heard that before.
Yeah,
so
look through enough of them, you'll see that
I will now. Of course, now I won't be able to help but do it.
All right, so let's move on to 64, and here we have another one of your NGC green holder coins.
Yeah. Oh, that's the 65 plus?
No, this is the 64, believe it or not.
Oh, okay.
So here we are, it looks like you got a little bit more orange peel going on here.
Right. And rich color and luster.
Yeah, definitely rich. And if you remember the last one we showed you guys, the face detail was flat, more or less. I mean, and here you see a little bit more definition on the face and the fingers and the knee.
Yes. This is, all right, remember the first coin rather, was 2015. This is a $2,105 coin.
So really not much of a spread.
No, it's not much of a spread, and that's why I'm saying if you're spending $2,000, you might as well get something that you really like. Yes, the flatness does exist on the nose, but the other prominent areas are very well defined. I like the levels of original mint frost on this coin. You don't see it too broken up, and you do see maybe small contact marks in the fields, but I think that's under 7 power assistance.
Right, and then we're looking here at the reverse, and again you have a a scratch-free sun. Very minor ticks on the rays. The eagle
ticks on the rays, right?
Yeah.
And you don't really see those right off the bat. I mean, we just mentioned it, and I bet you everybody's eye is going right to the rays, like, where is it? That's a good thing about buying coins, in lower grades, not that superlative, 66, 67 grade, which costs, multiples more. If you don't see the imperfections right off the bat.
Right. So when we're looking at premiums, of course, we're looking for when the population of the coin begins to shift away. So as we move up the ladder here, we're going to look at a 65. Still not uncommon to see a 1908 no motto in 65, but consider this: there are half as many 65s now than there were 64s and there were 63s. So you're getting into scarcer coin. So what do you think about this coin? This coin looks different to me than what we've been looking at.
Well, the first thing I notice is the color and the flash. Mm-hmm. Remember, we really want the grading services look for unbroken luster.
Right.
They then look at high points. I think those two qualities are actually more important today than, the hits and the little nicks that occur. It's really that luster and color and even cartwheel luster that goes around. I think the fields are clean. That says a lot because your eye is not immediately distracted by problems that usually have that kind of aspect.
Yeah, we say clean. The first thing I do see, and I think it's just because of the nature of the light here, is there are two slight thin lines, scratches, like below the branch. But forget that for a minute, because you are seeing the coin in high definition and you're seeing it blown up. But if you look at the overall fields, what Russ is talking about, because he's reviewed this coin in hand before we started talking about it, you do see the fields by and large are free of marks except for in that one spot. And if the light isn't shining directly on top of that scratch, that, like I said, it's very thin, that it doesn't really come across. And then on the reverse, again,
I'm glad you're doing that.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to do that at a coin show.
Yeah, and then here on the reverse, we're back to you only have like it looks like one or two little ticks on the rays, but this is a well-defined coin. And look at the O and of, because you'll see on some of these saints, I mean, that O tends to be really weakly struck in a lot of these. So this one comes across.
And also, I think that in the wing, there's you can't see it, but there's a couple of major marks in there.
Yeah, they're in the back of the wing. You can see it here.
Yeah, right. But now, if you're a perfectionist, you say, well, okay, I don't like that. But remember, it's being graded by its overall eye appeal. And that really doesn't stand out unless you mention it.
Right.
Or you're looking at it for a protracted period of time.
Honestly, at the 65 level, Russ, this probably wouldn't be the coin for me. I think the mark in the eagle's breast would be a detracting factor. I think the scratch underneath the branch would be a detracting factor. Do you think that would, in your opinion, I mean, this coin was probably graded in the late 90s or early 2000s, mid 2000s maybe. Would you say that this is an A or a B quality coin for the grade?
I think I could do better.
Yeah, you would do better.
Yeah, I think I can do better. But again, if I am buying MS65 $20 gold pieces and I'm playing the price angle, the graph,
mm-hmm.
as long as I've got somebody who's going to be buying the coin back at a certain price, it's a commodity to me.
Right.
It just, that those marks are going to be there, but I have the reassurance that I know that I'll be able to get my money out of it at the fair market level. And in our case at Rarecoa, I published fair market level at any time in the future.
Mm-hmm. And what are we looking at here? I mean, is this still $100 or $200 more than the 64?
Actually, so the MS64 was 2105. The MS65 jumps to 2245.
So it's still negligible. It's just,
and there's $100 spread between our buy and sell price.
Right. All right. So let's look at a coin that's really nice and gemmy here. This is the 66 of the same issue.
Yeah.
Okay. So here, I think this doesn't have that sort of thin scratch in the front. It has some tiny ticks. It looks like a little tiny radial scratch near Liberty, and I don't know if that's that might be on the holder.
Around the devices?
Yeah, that's on the holder. That's on the holder. So you see the face is more complete.
Yep.
There's not any big hits on the knees. Strike seems slightly weaker, in my opinion, but it's cleaner.
Well, 1908 also came with a softer strike.
Mm-hmm.
And also, the high points are very distinguishable.
Right. Right. The reverse is really nice. I mean, this is a really top tier reverse on this coin.
Yeah, I needed a 7 power to find the marks in the feathers.
So 66s aren't infrequently encountered, but I think once you get to this level, I think we are talking about a numismatic coin.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, anything higher than a 66, you're paying, probably $6,000 to $10,000 or more, depending on the coin, and then 68 and now you're starting in 69. You're getting into rarities night type of coins.
69 actually just sold for about $250,000 at Great Collections.
Right.
And also, another thing too, when you're getting into the higher grade items, here's where we like to start looking at all of the different resources for price analysis when we're trying to determine value. Great Collections has become an outstanding sales mechanism for both dealers and collectors.
Mm-hmm.
They have a weekly auction that ends every Sunday. It's automated. But what we can do is they have a prices realized archive where you can type in 1908 and MS66 and CAC and see how this coin is performed, or different coins have performed, but with the same grade and CAC over time. So you can kind of gauge where you are in the marketplace.
One of our commenters, who I'm assuming is probably a silver stacker, Rogue Silver writes, these make so much more sense to stack than 62s or 3s compared to a plain bullion gold. Why not have the potential for a numismatic premium as well as the gold itself? You agree with that?
I'm not sure I understand the question.
So he's saying that these bullion, like these coins, make more sense to stack than just generic bullion, like gold bars or.
Well, I think that's what happened after 1907, the high relief, which couldn't stack.
Mm-hmm.
The government had to, or the Treasury redesigned the whole surface area so that these coins would stack, because you can't have these coins falling over on each other.
No, let me rephrase it. So the stacking that's the slang term for people who accumulate gold and silver. So he's saying that it makes more sense to accumulate or stack these numismatic coins, not to physically stack them.
The difference in our ages.
Yeah. You got it.
I'm an old guy. Okay, I admit
it. Totally.
Sorry.
Totally.
What was that guy's name?
Yeah, totally based answer here. No, this is
Thank you very much for your comment. That was great.
Yeah. So let's look at a few other dates here, and still we're in the types of dates that you're gonna see offered. With some frequency. We're gonna skip ahead to 1924, and we're looking at a coin in an MS67 NGC MS67 holder. This is a bigger coin. we're looking at what about a $25,000 coin here.
No, no.
And
If it was wait, if it were CAC, maybe it may be like 17.
okay,
But
17.
this NGC coin has ranged in price from about 8,000 to 14,000, depending upon the date and the eye appeal.
No, I know you invoiced me at a little higher than that. So I was going on that.
I got it insured.
Oh yeah, to get insured. So once we get to MS67, like now we're talking about coins that have to talk to you. It's not enough that they don't have hits, or problem free. I mean, the coin has to sing, and this coin sings. It has beautiful cartwheel luster. I'm rotating it a little bit here. Really nice strike. Full fingers. The knees not marred with hits. The face is mostly there.
Maybe one contact mark in the field.
Yeah, a tiny bit of a contact mark. You see the sun there it just looks like pristine.
Yeah.
And it is very, very very seldom you'll encounter a $20 double eagle in this state of preservation. And I really like this coin. What do you think about it?
I think you've said it all, right? I mean, the radiating luster is awesome. I like the glowing fields with that bronzish luster on the obverse. I just can't find the marks that would bother me. And from a numbers standpoint, the value of an MS67 now breaks away from that spot gold price entirely, and now it's a matter of supply and demand and where you are in the marketplace. Now there are enough of these to actually have some very interesting buying opportunities as well as selling opportunities. If you look at it from a historical standpoint, there will be a time when it makes a lot of sense to add one of these to your collection if you're more investment inclined rather than collecting inclined. But as a collector, buying it right means that you're going to make a profit when you sell it. But I mentioned $8,000 to $12,000. These coins can fluctuate that widely, and if you buy it into the $8,000 or $9,000 level and you're selling it at 12, you're making a much better investment than you are buying an MS63, one of these coins.
I think about two terms that I know they're sort of maybe Laura Sperber at Legend has popularized them, but I think about her terms widgets and snowflakes. And a widgety coin being the type of coin that it's just interchangeable. It doesn't really matter if you got a great looking 62 1908 Nomato, because there's 40,000 other 1908s, and I'm not going to waste the time to find the best one, right?
Right.
When you start getting into these superb gem grades, the coins really do need to not be widgety anymore. They have to speak to you. They have to have character and personality. And I think once you start looking at these coins from that perspective, and like get over this shock of what's on the label and what it's telling you, and start trusting your own eyes at that point. What is the coin saying to you at MS67? Because Russ is absolutely right. You can have a widgety 67 that's going to sell on the lower end, and then you can have just a phenomenal one that the right collector and the right dealer or at the right auction, and that coin's going to bring a premium. And if you misinterpret that data to think that, well, the last one sold for $18,000, so maybe this one at $8,000 is a good deal. It's like, well, maybe not. Maybe that $8,000 is at the peak of what it will sell for, and that $18,000 coin was different. And even if it's in the same holder, the same grade, there's something about it that made somebody say, I'm stretching for that coin. I want that coin specifically because of what it said to them.
Yeah, especially the registry set buyers.
Right. So I don't personally, I don't see this as a widgety 67. I think if you bought this coin, if this was, on your list and in your price point, I think you'd be happy with this coin.
I think so too.
All right.
And it's also good to see these coins in succession by grade, to see where it goes and how much it increases in value with that 1 point increase.
Now we're gonna actually look at two more Jimmy coins here, and the next one we're gonna look at here. Let me take that sticker off so we can see it. So this is in your green, again, your NGC green holder that Rareco is marketing, and this is in a MS65 Plus holder, and so again we're going back to this idea of widgets and snowflakes. So
I'm gonna actually stop you for a second. We're not marketing these coins. We are sourcing these coins to a variety of marketers around the United States.
I see. I'm sorry about that.
No, that's okay.
All right. So widget or snowflake. I mean, I think at this point we're looking at a 5+, which means that it's very, very strong for the 5 grade. So this coin has got like a vivid orange color. And as I kind of rotate it around, you will see the booming luster.
Now look at the peach gold.
Yeah.
I mean, it's minor ticks at the central devices, but I mean, this coin is drop dead gorgeous.
Right. Now, obviously, we can't spoil ourselves. We just saw that 67, so this is a little below that in grade, but you are looking at a sharp, well-defined coin here. And then when we flip this over, again, very clean on the reverse, almost blemish free.
Right. I think for the money, I look at it as opposed to the MS67, and I kind of like this coin. And the funny thing about this coin was that way back a year and a half ago when the project first started, I bought this coin from MCM, which is Modern Coin Mart, and they do a lot of retail business. And I just went ahead and signed on as a regular customer. I wanted to see what the process was for them to send this coin to me. I had no idea what the coin looked like. I wanted to see how it was packaged. I wanted to see how long it took. I wanted to see if there's any follow-up communication from MCM, things like that. But all that aside, I was so very pleasantly surprised with the quality of this coin. I mean, it's definitely a 66 in my opinion, if not a plus grade. If I were to start fiddling around with trying to reholder it.
So when it came to you, did it come in a 5+? I mean, what was that program
No,
like?
I haven't. It's been in my hold box since I got it.
Oh, you're talking about one you have in your hand. Hold on.
No, the 65 plus that you have.
Oh, okay, so that one's just been in your hold box since you got it.
Yep.
And did their coins typically come that nice, or is this just a standout?
It was luck of the draw.
Yeah.
If it was just a standout, I'm thinking that the idea is to create a strong following and a competitive response to CAC. And I was very, very pleased. I mean, we had no idea what we were going to get. I mean, they could have had 40 different coins and one was selected for me, but I didn't announce myself as a dealer or anything like that. I wanted it to be completely anonymous.
Right. All right. So we got one last one, and we talked briefly about CAC coins, and now
this is also out of our inventory. If you're looking at the 1925.
Yeah. So this is going to be one. So this is an MS66 from graded by PCGS, and this is a really splashy coin.
It's stunner, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean this is a snowflake. and so all right, so here's a hard question for you then, Russ. I'm gonna put these side by side. Okay, I know you've looked at them, but where are you at? What's on the 67 versus the CAC 66? I mean,
67 versus the CAC 66. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, all right. On the 66 CAC, we have full nose, knee, and torch hand. Okay. We have the same thing on the MS67. I'm actually going to go back and forth by saying PCGS and NGC. There are minor on the PCGS coin. There are minor ticks up and down the legs, but the luster has not been broken. And I think that that's what CAC likes. CAC is very hard on Saints. And I think in particular, they want to see luster flowing and not interrupted. I don't believe that this 1924 coin in a 67 holder would get CAC.
At 67, but it probably would get. Do you think it would get it at 66 though?
Most likely.
Yeah, I think so too.
But for the PCGS 66 CAC, there are minor ticks. Okay, it's not a 67 coin, but a 67 1925 with a CAC holder would be that $25,000 coin.
Mm-hmm.
I mean it's a harder date. It's a common date in 63 and 64 grade, but if you looked at the population, not only of a PCGS 66, but the CAC population, which is online, you'd see that there are very few of these coins endorsed by CAC. So there is a very strong demand for them, and they can be acquired with patience, either with the major auction companies of Heritage Stacks and Goldberg, or every week at Great Collections. You look at Great Collections. Every now and then I might see one come up, but it's definitely not an issue that tends to trade hands very, very frequently.
And do you think that the CAC coins are worth their reputation in gold? And do you think they're consistently holding the line on what they're putting their stickers on?
Oh yeah, I do. I think it's buyers who are not in the business on a full-time basis look to CAC as an insurance policy. They know there's a very strong demand for them when they go to resell the coins.
Yeah, I just can't get over how attractive that 66 is. What would the retail value be of a coin like that PC 66? I mean, what are we looking at with that CAC sticker? It's got to be probably just under 10,000 or something like that.
Yeah, I think we have it at like 7,500 or something like that.
Okay.
But that's also like a 1923D. We recently sold one of those in the same grade with a CAC sticker, and that was like $7,200. So that 66 grade with the CAC, that is not a 1924 or a 1927 or 28 coin, 1926, 1923D, 1925, they will bring the $7,000 level.
Yeah, it's such a great coin. I don't think that the $20 gold coin that Saint-Gaudens designed is actually his finest coin. I like the 10 design better. But when they're pretty, they are the most attractive coins that the U.S. government ever issued.
There's no mistaking about the fact that people like large coins and they like gold coins, and that design just sends everybody. I don't know anybody who really doesn't like it. Many dealers use that design as their logo.
So on the topic of these $20 gold coins, obviously we talked about how at some grades these are just a little bit above bullion, so kind of a bullion plays. Yeah, bullion's not cheap anymore. I mean, I remember when I remember being an adult being able to buy a $20 Liberty for like $300. It seems like forever ago. But for somebody who isn't a gold specialist, who collects coins, maybe somebody who is like the Morgan or silver dollar type of collector, or is having a couple gold coins in their collection, worthwhile? And what should they look for if they're not going to specialize, and they're, they don't want to spend too much over spot? I mean, they can still get quality, right? And just pay a few $100s over spot.
That's a great store of wealth too. I mean, if you think about it, at a certain age, we all worry about how we're going to hand our wealth down to our family members.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one very effective way of doing it, is buying into these coins and then transferring them via your estate to those who are inheriting your wealth.
Mm-hmm. So, Russ, I appreciate your time today. This has been really informative for me. I enjoyed looking at these coins. They were really quite remarkable. And I'll see you. I think I'm going to see you in about a week in Chicago. and hopefully you'll have some of these 12 Caesar coins you're selling, and I can take some video. You said you got a new collection in. I can't hear you. Are you talking?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. So you said,
sorry, someone just came into the office through the front door here. One of the marquee coins was a very rarely encountered Roman Ori of Julius Caesar.
Oh wow!
With his figurehead on it, and his Augustus, on the first emperor or the second emperor, is on the reverse, and there are very, very few of them, and it's like one of the most sought after of the 12 Caesars that you can find. I mean, it carries a six-figure price tag, but I mean, it's I know dealers who've been in the business for 20, 30, 40 years, and maybe have handled one or two of them.
So you'll have one. I can shoot it on while I'm there.
I do. Yeah, we could do cool coins.
Yeah, we'll definitely do one. Well, Russ, thank you very much. Look forward to our next chat, and I hope you have a great ANA show coming up.
Thanks. I hope everyone found this productive and informative.
All right. Well, take care and have a good week.
You too.
All right. Thank you. All right, Russ, we're off.